Bitcoin makes you smarter and richer than everyone on Wall Street. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Gen Z BTC. It's me, Satoshi Guapamoto. And today we're going over how Bitcoin basically makes you a better trader, a better investor, a smarter investor, a more talented investor than people who go to school their whole lives to do this stuff. All right? Because they don't know what they're talking about. Because they've been indoctrinated. Okay, they didn't really learn anything in these government-funded schools. Okay, what they got taught was how to perpetuate the system that already exists. All right, they don't teach paradigm shifts in university. Okay, it's up to the truly brilliant students, the ones that aren't just listening and taking down the notes word for word, that are truly understanding concepts. It comes down to a few people who truly understand concepts and have a vision that is greater than what anyone else can see. Those are the people that push the culture forward. Those are the people that push technology forward. Those are the people who actually change the world. Not the people who go word for word regurgitating whatever their PowerPoints said. Okay. Their 5-sentence PowerPoints, whatever those said, just writing that down, regurgitating it, explain it deeper. Well, I mean, I don't know. Okay, the PowerPoints were only 5 sentences. You know, you can only fit so much on there. So those guys they're not going to make it. Okay, to put it lightly, they're not going to make it. And that's what most of these Wall Street guys are. Okay, most of these financial advisors, they literally don't know what they're talking about. Like people like Peter Schiff, he's literally doing a disservice to people because he's telling them to buy gold. Right. And meanwhile, first off, gold's underperforming like everything because it's not meant to be like a volatile performing asset. Like I understand that. But at the same time, they're literally losing purchasing power because inflation is going up faster than the rate of gold's appreciation. Okay.
Disagree that they got rich by buying a store of value. They did not.
You have investors, you have people who listen to you, and those people have underperformed Bitcoin by a massive
Everybody
amount.
has underperformed Bitcoin. Well, I mean, what difference does that make?
It makes a difference between you're in the wrong asset. That's the problem. Okay. Literally, you're being paid to provide financial advice and you're giving really bad financial advice. Your track record is the worst track record, literally, of any person in the world. Because I don't know anybody who's been negative on Bitcoin since Bitcoin $1. I don't know a single person.
I'm telling people not to buy Bitcoin. There are a lot of other people, professionals in the financial services that don't tell people to go out and buy Bitcoin.
And then we look at the S&P 500 and all this passive investing, all these passive income funds, right? Like where people are like, oh, well, I'm just going to put all my money in the S&P, or I'm going to put all my money into this target date fund. I'm going to put all my money into treasuries. And I'm going to do 60% equity and 40% bonds. And I'm just going to get poorer for the rest of my life. Like, are you actually insane? I've never seen anything quite like this. All right. Okay, all the Bitcoiners, let's just say for a second, I just dropped the Bitcoin intelligence test video, right? But let's just say for a second that actually all Bitcoiners are just stupid, okay? Let's just say somehow all the Bitcoiners are just absolute idiots. You know, they're just stupid. All of them have IQs of around 70, right? Okay, you're getting bodied by someone with a 70 IQ. You're getting bodied. You're getting bodied. You're down here, little bro, okay? I'm big broing you. I'm literally dunking on you. You're nowhere near my level. You can't do this. You know what I mean? I have a 70 IQ and I'm up 200% on the year. You know what I mean? That's light work. Meanwhile, you're barely scraping 20%. You're trying so hard. Oh, well, we have to analyze the macro environment. And if we look here and we see that the FASB accounting rules, and if we look at the SEC and what they're doing, and then if we look at this chart where I drew a bunch of squiggly lines, okay, here, guys, look at my technical analysis, bro. Look at my technical analysis. Is it making sense to you yet? Bro, we're going to go much higher than Bitcoin. And here's the part where it's a bubble right here. I'm telling you guys, I went to school for this. Guys. And that's the problem. Like, they feel like, oh, well, I paid so much money for this thing. There's no way it's a ripoff. I'm still paying for this thing. I've been paying for this thing longer than you've been alive, kid. So obviously, I can't be wrong because otherwise I would have been ripped off. You know, otherwise I would have been duped. I would have been lied to. I would have been tricked. I would have been sold a falsehood. No, I'm smarter than that. I went to college. I went to university. Yeah, buddy. Look, I did too. Okay. And that's not what makes me smart. It's everything outside of that makes me intelligent. Okay. I don't have to bend the knee to authority where it's like, well, I don't need to listen to this guy because he's not an economist. I don't need to listen to this guy because he's not a financial advisor. I don't need to listen to this guy because he doesn't have a degree in macroeconomics. You know, we live in the information age, little buddy. First off, if you want to go watch a Harvard level class about macro, you can. Okay. If you want to read some of the greatest research of all time done by some of the greatest professors or whatever you want to do, then you can do that without even having to go to the school. Facts. Okay. Like, I'm not sure if you're aware of that. We have access to a lot of information. But it doesn't really matter if that information is false, right? So it goes both ways. All the people saying, well, your information's wrong. Bitcoin's a bubble, blah, 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 blah. You can say that, sure. But at the end of the day, life is about results, little bro. And what are the results? Okay. My results just so happen to be beating your results a lot. And it's not a fluke. It's not like, oh, well, for 3 months, your thing went up and then it popped and then it went away. No, my thing keeps beating your thing over and 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 over. And you're sitting there like, no, we get it, bro. I'm like, no, you don't. Clearly. And over and over and over and over and over and over again. You know, so maybe I'm onto something. You know, at the end of the day, like, the people at Microsoft didn't understand the iPhone. You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand a paradigm shift. Like, this is an entire network that's being built. Okay. Networks are massive and no one understands how big they are until they're that big. Okay. The Apple ecosystem is a network. It's pretty big. Okay. And people were like, oh, well, it's not going to work because the iPhone doesn't have a keyboard and it's too expensive. It's too expensive. Actually, it was the best technology ever built at the time. So no, little bro, it wasn't too expensive. Okay. And it was a good email machine without having a physical keyboard. It was a paradigm shift. Okay. It literally changed the game. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious to the people who can see it, like Amazon. Like, yeah, we're going to sell stuff online. Yeah, pretty obvious. Yeah, you're going to be one of the biggest companies in the world. But that's not obvious to the people, I guess, who were living at that time. Mostly because they had conventional wisdom. Okay, all those guys don't know what they're talking about because they went to school and they were like, well, my econ professor told me that the internet is just a bubble because he's 70 years old and he's been in finance and sales for 50 years and he's got a lot of experience. Yeah, a lot of experience and he still hasn't figured it out. That's crazy. I don't know where they do that at. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want advice from those people. They're stuck in the past. Every day we take a step further into the future. You know what I mean? I want people who have a future mindset. I want people who have a vision of the future, not people who are blinded by the past. Because they're not going to make it. Facts. I'm not making stuff up. They are not going to make it. Facts. You know, that's all there is to it. All right. Put more harshly, science and technology advances one funeral at a time. Okay. So all the people who don't get it, all the people who don't get germ theory, who don't understand what germs are, okay, when the germ theory paper is released and they talk about, yeah, there's actually these tiny little invisible things that make you sick. Yeah, that sounds pretty crazy. That sounds kind of insane. Don't get me wrong. But all the people who don't get it and refuse to look at the evidence and refuse to get it, they will all go away, okay? They'll all go to a better place. And then all the other people who get it are able to fix society, okay? All the people like me, okay, all the people who get it are able to fix society once all the people who don't get it are gone. You know, pretty obvious, but that's how things go. All right. So this has just been a little rant where I just wanted to break down, like, you don't have to be this savant investor person who's dedicating all their time to watching the charts and looking at all the different earnings reports and all this other stuff. That's the whole point of a fiat system. Fiat system turns you into a gambler, right? And you like to try to hide behind the veil of, oh no, it's actually investing and I'm working really hard and I'm doing a lot of research. And that's the reason why I bought Dogecoin. Really, little buddy? I've been working really hard and doing a lot of research. And after all of my calculations, AMC is going to the moon any day now. You don't have to do all that when you're a Bitcoiner. You just do better than everyone else. You just get richer than everyone else because they just don't get it. And then eventually they will all get it. The same way that if you understood Apple before the first iPhone dropped, then yeah, of course, you're like, oh, you know, I'm just going to buy Apple, get richer than everyone else. Everyone else is going to get poorer compared to me. I'm getting richer because I bought the smart thing. I sold the dumb thing to buy the smart thing. And now I have more money than everyone. Congratulations. You know? And we're witnessing that again. And there's so many people who say, oh, I wish I could have bought Apple when it was cheap. I wish I could have done this when it was cheap. You have the opportunity to buy Bitcoin right now when it's cheap. But of course, you know, will you do it? I don't know. We'll see. If you enjoyed that video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with someone who might also enjoy it or find it interesting or funny, right? And I'll see you guys on the next video. Stack sats or die trying.